From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, November 17th. Today, it's rather warm outside. I'm sure you've noticed as you've stepped out. The mild temperatures is really what's going to lead the weather storyline today. It's also going to make way for some showers this afternoon and some pretty strong wind gusts. Highs will get into the mid-60s with winds going about 30 to 35 miles per hour at times.
Unfortunately, we are at 244.
We are in a pandemic in our city, and something has to change.
The city of Indianapolis is now at 244 homicides for the year with 45 days to go. A deadly shooting last night means the city is on the brink of breaking last year's homicide record, and it comes just hours after a peace rally. Speaking from a church podium with law enforcement officials yesterday, faith and community leaders launched an initiative to try and stop what they call senseless violence. IMPD says the rise in crime is something they've seen throughout the country, saying people are turning to gun violence to resolve whatever problem they may have. IMPD says the latest local homicide is a man that was shot. He was found at Gardner Park just off East 46th Street. The body was in a remote area of the park, making it a larger scene for officers to comb through for evidence. Investigators haven't released the man's name yet, but say that members of the victim's family were at the crime scene. Police tell us gun violence is becoming more of an issue.
Lots of colleagues around this area in cities our size on police agencies, and they're dealing with basically the same thing where folks are turning to gun violence as a means to resolve conflict resolution.
Community leaders are reacting to the homicide on 46th Street. As we near that record, the Indy 10-Point Coalition is weighing in, tweeting, "I am just walking in the house from patrolling in 3 neighborhoods tonight. Indy, I am saddened that we have had a homicide tonight. We are now at 244 homicides, just 1 homicide away from last year's record-breaking number of 245 homicides." And this morning, we're hearing from the Fraternal Order of Police President, Rick Snyder. He's taking to Twitter to say in part, "Surging, not slowing. Indy now tragically sits at 244 homicides, just short of the all-time record of 245, and continues." Earlier in the day before the homicide, a group of religious leaders came together to push for peace in Indianapolis. They're asking the community to work together to stop the surge. A rally took place with different churches, organizations, IMPD, and the Marion County Sheriff's Office, all to launch a citywide collaborative initiative called Peace in the Streets, Stop the Violence. The group claims its goal is to educate the community that a life is too precious to be lost to senseless violence.
We need to stop the violence, and it's up to us as a community. The police, they've done all that they can. We look at our politicians, they've passed enough legislation. When are we going to hold ourselves accountable and those that we love for committing these acts and say, hey, you have to stop that because I want to see you next week at Thanksgiving, and I want you to enjoy Christmas, and I want to celebrate the New Year with you. If you continue these acts, we won't be able to celebrate with you. We'll be grieving.
The group wants to see community members get a yard sign with a slogan for their home or business. And Indianapolis is not alone. Deadly violence has surged across the country. The Pew Research Center put out a map that charts murder rates in each state as of last year. Indiana and most of its neighbors were up 31 to 45%. Kentucky's situation is even more dire with a jump of at least 61%. The overall change for the country, a 30% jump. That's the biggest year-to-year increase in more than a half century, even bigger than 2001 when the 9/11 attacks made the numbers soar. The FDA could give the green light to Pfizer's COVID-19 booster shots for all adults as early as tomorrow. That's according to the New York Times. The CDC is scheduled to meet on Friday. If both agencies give their approval, it means millions more adults could be eligible by this weekend. Right now, boosters are only authorized for those 65 and older or those at high risk from health conditions or their jobs. Some states are not waiting. Arkansas, California, Colorado, New Mexico, and West Virginia are all already allowing boosters for all adults 6 months after their second dose. Health officials say waning immunity and breakthrough cases were behind the decision to go ahead and move forward. For the second day in a row and the 5th since the school year began, some students in Pike Township will be learning from behind a screen. The school district announced Pike High School, Freshman Campus, and Pike Preparatory Academy will have an e-learning day because of staff shortages. All other schools in the district will be in person. They added that some buses would be late this morning, too. There was also a day of canceled classes earlier this month due to a teacher shortage. This is all likely furthering the frustration of families. Some parents want the superintendent to resign. They're talking to ITmate and circulating a petition. Bus drivers and teachers are fighting with the district over pay. Parents and teachers also claim the district isn't being transparent about its finances. Pike teacher Bill Rawls showed us the current budget. He says it shows a surplus of $7 million, and teachers are asking for about $3 million of it.
I've had, my first 3 periods, I had no one this morning. They're sleeping in. It's absolutely destroying the morale of the teachers. There are numerous teachers, including myself, that are thinking about leaving. I'm going to retire, I think, at the end of the year.
ITmate has reached out to the district about the budget and the push for the superintendent's resignation. So far, there has been no response. And this morning, the city of Indianapolis is facing a $2.1 million lawsuit stemming from the FedEx mass shooting. The suit's from 2 people who were wounded and the family of one of those killed. News 8's Demi Johnson explains why they feel the city didn't do enough.
A letter News 8 received from the group's attorney says the claims were filed because of the city's failure to file a red flag case against the shooter. The amount listed in the letter would be divided among the 3 people named in the claim. Brandon Hull, the man accused of shooting and killing 8 people at a FedEx facility in April, never had a red flag hearing, even after his mother called police more than a year before the shooting, warning them her son might commit suicide by cop. The state's red flag law allows police to take guns from people who show warning signs of violence. During a media briefing following the mass shooting, Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears explained his office did not have the evidence to file a red flag case against Hull. He also pointed to loopholes in the law that allow people to still purchase firearms.
So we're left with the situation we have one incident. He was treated by mental health professionals. They didn't civilly commit him. They didn't prescribe him any additional medication, and he was cut loose. We need a larger and longer timeline where we're able to make these types of hearings. We want to make decisions based on the best evidence available to us.
Fast forward 6 months, a lawyer representing several members of the Sikh community who are either victims or family members of victims sent a letter to Indianapolis city attorneys. The letter is the first step in filing a formal lawsuit. The claims say IMPD failed to submit an affidavit after a gun was taken from Hull last year, and the prosecutor's office didn't petition for a red flag hearing. In an email, the group's attorney tells News 8, we are statutorily required to provide adequate notice to the city of Indianapolis and Marion County within a certain time period to protect our clients' rights if they decide to move forward with a lawsuit related to last April's tragedy. Accordingly, we submitted this notice of claims last month to meet that obligation. We remain in close conversation with our clients about their injuries and ongoing need as we continue to chart the course forward and work on these matters. The claim letter details physical and psychological injuries suffered by the victims, Harpreet Singh, Lakhwinder Kaur, and Gurinder Bains. The letter says Singh was shot in the head and his injuries have led to hospitalization, multiple surgical procedures, extensive rehabilitation, inability to work at full capacity, and continued physical and psychological injuries. It goes on to say Kaur was injured when a bullet grazed her arm. The letter says she was standing behind Bains' father, Jaswinder Singh, when he was shot and killed, and because of it, she now suffers from psychological distress. The letter says Bains is seeking compensation on behalf of his father's estate. I reached out to both Mayor Joe Hogsett and Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears for comment. A spokesperson from each of their offices said they do not comment on tort claims. Reporting in the newsroom, Demi Johnson, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And Miss Indiana USA vows to keep competing and honor the memory of her mother, who recently died in a crash. As News 8's Sierra Hignite explains, Anaya Birdsong wants to continue the dream she shared with her mom and go for the crown this weekend.
We met up with Anaya just 4 days before she heads to Tulsa, Oklahoma to compete for the Miss USA title. Now, she asked us to meet her here at Ivy Tech's Indianapolis campus. It's where her mom graduated from college in 2003, and she said it was an important part of the lessons that she would teach her in going for your dreams, no matter what hurdles may get in the way.
Anaya Birdsong was crowned Miss Indiana USA in July. Her biggest supporter stood proudly in the crowd to cheer her on.
I can say that I have been grooming her for this since she was like 18 months old. I'm so super excited. Miss USA, here we come.
But just a few weeks before she would head off to compete in Miss USA, on Halloween, her mother, Davita Wingham, lost her life in a tragic car crash on I-465.
When I got the news that day, I just really thought, what am I doing all this for? I just lost my biggest supporter. I had a lot of doubt and frustration with the world and just the reason of why this is happening at this moment in time.
In the wake of such tragedy and heartache, Anaya questioned if she could move forward.
My mom would be so hurt if I stopped on a dream that we've shared for so long, knowing the circumstance.
Anaya leaves for Miss USA this weekend and will wear her mom close to her heart all week long, paying tribute to what she calls her spirit animal along the way.
We have 19 stars, but I have a 20th star that's going to be outlined in blue, and it has my mom's initial on that. So that's going to be another way to commemorate her and just know that she is not only in the building, but also on stage in every walk.
Anaya chose the platform for the competition, #DareToDisrupt, hoping to inspire others. Never did she think that she would end up needing to lean onto that lesson so heavily herself.
And I want to use this opportunity to not only be a true living testimony that adversity can be thrown your way, but how can you use that to elevate and be able to, redefine what your purpose is of why you're here.
As she packs her crown and sash for the big stage, Anaya is holding her mom's memory close and looking to her for motivation to power through.
And I can still hear her in the back of my head, like, hey, Toots, you got this. Like, can keep on the path and make everyone proud around you.
Anaya heads south for the big competition on Saturday. We've got different ways that you can watch her compete and support her on wishtv.com. Reporting in Indianapolis, I'm Sierra Hignite, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And today, the House will vote on a resolution that would censure and remove Representative Paul Gosar from one of his committees. Gosar posted an anime video online depicting his ambushing fellow Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and President Joe Biden. Gosar has since deleted the post. He says the video was a symbolic portrayal of a fight over immigration policy. Republican Adam Kinzinger is one of the few Republicans saying he will vote to censure Gosar. The Illinois congressman tweeted saying, "We have to hold members accountable who incite or glorify violence, who spread and perpetuate dangerous conspiracies. The failure to do so will take us one step closer to this fantasized violence becoming real." And lawmakers may have a bit more time to deal with the debt limit. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen now says the country will run out of money December 15th. Later than her earlier estimate of December 3rd. Yellen sent a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi yesterday outlining the approaching crisis. The issue has been one of the most contentious in Congress this session. Lawmakers extended the debt limit temporarily in October following warnings from Yellen, and they still need to come up with a lasting solution. Indiana schools in the new college football playoff rankings are going in different directions. After debuting on the rankings last week, Purdue dropped out of the top 25 following their blowout loss to Ohio State. The Buckeyes round out the top 4 just like last week, trailing behind number 1 Georgia, number 2 Alabama, and number 3 Oregon. Notre Dame is slowly making its way up the rankings, jumping a spot for the 3rd consecutive week. The Fighting Irish now sit at number 8 after defeating Virginia 28-3. The school posted about the ranking on Twitter with the simple, "moving up." Wish TV is the official local broadcast partner of the 2022 College Football Playoff Indianapolis Host Committee. The Wentz family has a new teammate this morning. Her name is Hudson Rose, and she is the second daughter of Carson and Madison Wentz. Hadley Jane is a year and a half old. In Carson Wentz's Instagram post announcing the birth, he said, "Can't wait for you and your big sis to run the world, or at least my world." And the Colts make their Hard Knocks premiere tonight. It's the first time the series has followed a team in season in real time. News 8's Olivia Ray has a sneak peek at what you can expect.
This is telling the story, and it's through the eyes of the characters of this Colts world. And so it's never been done before. And that's what we're trying to do is just give you a real, genuine story. And you've never seen what it takes from Monday to Sunday for an entire NFL season.
It's history in the making right here in Indianapolis. For the first time ever, the Hard Knocks series has embedded themselves in an NFL franchise in season, and it's all happening right before our eyes. So as our city is set to hit screens around the world, what exactly can we expect from this in-depth, behind-the-scenes look at the Colts organization?
Just a closer look at, We talk about the mission of this organization. Part of the, is to win the right way. That's the end of the mission statement, is that, we're going to entertain, inspire, and unite by winning the right way.
People who watch NFL see players for 3 hours on Sunday, in a helmet, in pads, in their armor. What we're going to do is strip all that away. We've been out here with players, going home with them and seeing them, not as football players, but as fathers or as brothers or as sons or as friends across the board will be startling.
The Hard Knocks 40-person production crew has been in Indy since September at every practice, media session, game, and especially the extracurriculars, which is where you'll catch those surprises we're hinting at.
You're going to see scenes with Darius Leonard at home. He's the maniac on Sundays. We've captured scenes with him at home that's going to blow your mind. That is the exact opposite of what you see on Sunday.
I'm excited for those who tune in to get to see what that looks like for this organization. The closeness of the players, how they give back in the community, how they compete.
I'm definitely going to tune in. I'm kind of excited to see how it's portrayed on the silver screen, because we have a really unique culture here, and I feel like we have a really unique team that's trying to do something real special.
Never been done before was no problem for the Colts, because this is an opportunity to showcase what could be quite the finish to this season. Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And finally, one of Central Indiana's biggest events is making another move closer to a return to normal. The mini marathon training series is back from the 500 Festival. Last year's training and the mini were virtual. The Miler series will step off downtown from the Pavilion at Pan Am. The 3 Mile is in February, 6 Mile in March, the 10 Miler in April. You can also do it all virtually again if you prefer to do that this year. Registration is now open. The series syncs up with typical training programs for the mini marathon, which is set for May 7th, in person for the first time since 2019. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling.
Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast.
The News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.